Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Kim, and today I just want to talk about finished projects, I guess. I don't exactly remember where I left off on the last video of all the projects that I had up and coming. Um, let's see. I finished the 2 dogs that went to England. There was the Pokemon Vaporeon. I still have to complete that, so that one's not done. I also brought up that I was working on, or going to be working on, a Wednesday. So I finished the Wednesdays that I was working on, and I didn't get the chance to make a video. It's really busy around here, so it's kind of hard background noise, and there isn't really anywhere to go to film unless I'm outside or something. So I made 2 Wednesdays and sold those, and then I actually just recently had somebody ask me for another Wednesday, so I thought, well, if I finish that Wednesday and I have the opportunity to make a video of it, then I would do that. So I actually have a Wednesday with me before she goes to her new home. So here she is. She's got, the problem with black is that the stuffing, you find pieces of stuffing all over it. Like when I sewed on her hair, you can kind of see the tufts, the little scraggly stuffing pieces that I just have to keep working on yanking out. It wasn't a terrible pattern. I got it off of Etsy, and the first, I should have filmed it. The first Wednesday I did. Have you ever seen Spy Kids? If you've never seen Spy Kids, or you have seen it, look up Thumb Thumbs. I did not increase on the neck. For some reason, I did not read it properly, because sometimes I crochet late at night and I'm just too tired, and I probably should have been more awake when I was reading it. It said to you do a front loop increase, and you do it 10 times, and it expands, and obviously you get a big round head. Well, I didn't do that, and so I had made a thumb. The head went up this way and looked more like an egg. I did, yeah, when I finished the head, even though I didn't go back on it and rip it, I just kept going. So, for the longest time, it was sitting in a bucket, and when I got the order for a third Wednesday, I thought, well, it couldn't get much worse. Let's experiment. I took a pair of scissors and I cut off the head, went all the way down to where I had my front loops, and I managed to pick back up, and I increased, and here she is. So what was once a thumb is now an actual Wednesday. This Wednesday's kind of, there's not a lot of sewing to it. So basically you do the arms first, and then you do a leg, and then you start the other leg, and then you connect, and then you go up. Now it said to use whatever yarn. I think it said what yarn to use, but it said you could use other types of yarn. So I used other types of yarn. But the problem with that is that because the arms are no sew, when you got up to where you had to go around the arms, it didn't really line up. So I kind of had to make things up as I went along because it wasn't aligning. But with the jacket on, you can't even really tell. And it says to sew the jacket, but I personally just kind of like that you can just take it on and off, or I don't know. This is going to be for a little girl. So, I don't know. For me personally, I like that you can open up the jacket and you can take it off too. So, I don't know. I just don't want to, like, why did I do all that work just to sew it up and then you never see it? So I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't yeah, go through all that frustration just to cover it up, because I think it turned out in the end okay, except for my I guess except when I switched colors. I'm not very good at hiding that, so when I switch it, you can tell. So that is finally the finished Wednesday in her little braids. I ended up cutting a really long strand, and then I just went like up and down basically around her hair, and then I used a stitch marker at the end of her like her braid to keep that sturdy while I sewed around, and then I did the braids last, and I started at the bottom and I went up and then kind of back down, and the first two that I made they kept curling up, but I found with this one, when I went straight up and back down instead of just tying the bottom, that I found now it's actually a lot more, it's straighter. So I think if I make more that I'll end up doing that. But the other Wednesdays, they will go straight if you give it a nice little pull and like flatten it. But if you kind of move it around a lot, it does end up curling back up. So, and I can't for the life of me do eyelashes. The pattern came with eyelashes, and yeah, no, I tried a bunch of times, and maybe one day I'll eventually be able to, but I cannot do eyelashes. And there is a trim around the boots that's white, but when I put the white trim around the boots, it just kind of I don't know, they just stuck out. Maybe I was doing it wrong, but I just didn't like how they stuck out, and it wasn't as flat as I would have wanted it. But she looks like what she's supposed to be, and that's really all that matters. So there's Wednesday. So let's see, other orders that I've done. I don't have it on me. I'm probably gonna have to just post a picture at the end of this video. Another manager at my work is leaving. So as a goodbye gift for her, I made her a Chihuahua in, it's called Yarn Lane. I used this yarn, and I wanted Yarn Chicken because I only had four of them, and they weren't huge, so I was really lucky I was able to make at least one dog with it and be able to gift that for her. It's in my locker at work. She's still not leaving for a little bit, but I at least wanted it there because then when we got really close to her last day, I wouldn't forget it at home or anything, so at least it's there waiting. And I cut out a purple, you'll see in the picture, but I cut out a purple bandana because I've mentioned it before, but I work in a retirement home as a housekeeper, and the company that I work for, when you're in a retirement facility, there's like themed colors. So the color for retirement is purple, and so I made a purple bandana for the Chihuahua for his neck. So there's that. And then, let's see, I'll just show you a couple other things that I've made in this video since we're going with the theme of stuff that I've been working on. In the past, I found this I'm pretty sure it's on Etsy. I found this on Etsy, and, okay, I mean, I know we're all sick of it now, but it's cute. I found a COVID pattern, and like I said, I'm pretty sure it was on Etsy, but if you look them up, I'm sure there's a lot more of them now. But I found this little cute guy. It's super easy. I've probably made 30 of these things. People actually have really wanted to buy them. So I've actually sold a lot. Oddly enough, that they are that popular. Who would have thought? So I basically, whenever somebody would order like 5 of them, I would do like all the balls first, and then you have to make 25 of these per ball. Yeah, I had like a bucket of them at one point, and then you sew these all on. It's not really sewing, I guess. You just thread a loop through, and then you just tie a knot, and then you hide the string. And then these you sew on once you get all the red strands on. But I started putting these on first, and then I knew where to put all the red ones on after. So maybe everyone likes them because they're just so grumpy and cute. I don't know. I made this one a long time ago, back when COVID came out. But for fun, I don't know why, I just randomly one day was trying to think of things to make for craft shows. I'm only usually in one craft show a year, and that's the one at my work, which is great because you have your seniors and you have their families and their grandchildren, and they want to buy stuff for them for Christmas and their birthdays. And so it's, retirement homes are probably one of the ways to go to have a craft sale, in my opinion, because you get your coworkers and their family and the seniors, you know, they love them. So so for fun, I was trying to think of things to add to a craft show for this year, and I don't go in one until like November, so I have all year really to make inventory. But I'm usually so busy doing orders or things that I want to make for myself, so I don't usually make inventory for craft shows till the fall, and I ended up making like 45 for my show last year. So 45 items, and I came back with 19 items. So that's not that bad. It was pretty good. So my coworkers were laughing because they would go by the table, and then a while later they'd come back and be like, "Wow, you're just getting more and more empty." I wish I had more time to make the inventory that I see a lot of people on YouTube have, but that's just not how it goes when you're just, yeah. So anyways, what I was getting at was the one I made for fun was this one. He is so soft. I'm pretty sure it was the blanket yarn that I used to make this one, because I thought, why have a little one with red heart yarn when you can make a big one in blanket yarn? So yeah. Oh, and there's still little red pieces from the yarn from cutting it, but yeah, I wasn't sure how well you could see the mouth and the eyebrows, but they turned out not too bad. So soft. Who doesn't want a soft, squishy COVID? I don't know. And there's probably a lot of germs out there that you could make. It doesn't have to be this one that everybody really is just sick of thinking about now. So the one that's ruined a lot of things. But oh well, it is what it is. And then I found a tutorial on YouTube of these, sorry for the crinkling, for these little turtles. So I made 3. So I made this one here. I made that one for me. That was my first one. And then I liked how it turned out. So then I made this one. And I did the black shell because I knew if I did this black, you wouldn't even see the eyes. I guess unless I used a different color. But yeah. So there's that one, and then I made another version of the one I made for me, but I just swapped the colors. This one's actually really soft. I don't remember, it's not a velvet and it's not a blanket yarn. It's so much more softer than the blanket yarn, but I can't remember what yarn it is, but it's really soft. And I used clear eyes for this one. So I don't know, I almost want to keep this one just because it's even softer than the one I kept for myself. Oh, I finished Scaredy Eddie. I remember he was in my past video where I think I only just had his head. So I finished Scaredy Eddie, and then there was a mashup on one of the YouTube channels that I follow. I'll have to link it down below. She was doing a mashup where it was like half crochet, half something that wasn't crochet that went together. And she made a beautiful rabbit and a chair, and she made a blanket. She made all kinds of cute little things for it. I think she made a bag. Just all kinds of things. Yeah, I'll try and link her down below, and look for her little the mod video, they called it. So yeah, and he's in it. So I didn't have him in any videos of him being done because for his like mashup, I not felted. What is it called? Yeah, no, felt. No, is it felt? Yeah, my mind is going blank. I felt. Yeah, felt, because you can use that for eyes. Okay, yeah, felt. I made a felt teddy bear for him. Really small. He's ugly, but I made one, and I put it with him, and it was Scaredy Eddie and his teddy that was made out of felt. And do I have it on me? I don't even know where I put it. I should have just left it where he is now. But somewhere I have his teddy. Okay. I would have showed you, but I don't off the top of my head know exactly where it is. But his actual teddy is finished too, as you can see. Oh, and as you can probably notice, my plant rack is gone. That is because I recently had well, not like recent, but April 27th was my birthday. I turned 32, and we renovated one half of the basement, and we never finished this half. So for my birthday, I booked 2 days off and ended up having 4 total because of the weekend. And I was like, let's renovate for my birthday. So we did. The plants are on the other half of the wall. I figured the window actually makes that wall a little bit brighter so they get more sun over there. So my dad put these shelves up. And then I added a lot of things that I've crocheted up there. And so yeah, so the plants are still here. They're just over there. And now I have my more of a work area over here than a garden and a work area. Although I didn't mind having my plants beside me because it was kind of like my two happy things meshed together in one corner of the room. So that is why. So it's same wall, but renovated wall. So here's Eddie. And then, oh, his mouth slipped. Oops, there we go. So there he is. He's quite large, actually. He came out to be a pretty good size. I can't wait to make more. The Amigurumi monster books have turned out to be my favorite, even just by making this one guy. Like, I love him. I can't wait to do more. Like, I'm so excited. And then, here is his teddy. So easy, simple. It was, you make a leg, and then you make the other leg, and then you piece them together, and you go all the way up to his neck. The arms, yeah, I sewed the arms on. You sew the head on, and then you sew the ears on. So, very simple. Scaredy Eddie and his teddy. And this teddy is much nicer than the one that I made with felt. If I find him, I will link a picture. But yeah, this one's much better. So yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to think of anything else. Well, I can talk about some of the stuff I've made on my shelf. This one's a budgie. This one's a cockatiel. There's a ghost. I bought glow in the dark yarn and I made glow in the dark ghosts. I gifted one for my friend for Christmas. She got a tattoo of a ghost that glows under black light, and the ghost on her tattoo is holding a knife. So I made her a glow in the dark ghost holding a knife made out of felt, because it just completely matched her tattoo, and it was pretty funny. And at the time, so I knew she was getting the tattoo, but I did not know that she was getting one that glowed under black light. So I made the ghost with the knife, and I made it the glow yarn, but that was the biggest surprise of all, because after she revealed her tattoo and showed that it glowed, I thought that's hilarious. You know your best friends when it's like you knew before you even saw it. So that was hilarious. So that one's my ghost, but he doesn't glow in the dark. He was just plain red heart yarn. There's my chipmunk. That's a Pusheen. That's a doll it's actually a plant that turns into a doll. It's like one of those topsy-turvy dolls. Bruno from Encanto. And then my turtle. And my coworker that volunteered to pass out flowers in the park for me. He has a friend that did these 3D. My paint job is terrible. Ignore that. His friend does these like 3D things, and he did a Mario tunnel, and hopefully it doesn't just look like this for forever, because I want to make the plant that pops out of the tunnel. So that's why that's sitting there, because eventually there will be a plant. It's on the to-do list. Here's the doll. I'll show you. This pattern's on Etsy. It's I think the doll, I'm pretty sure her name is Flora. And there's a cute little story that goes with it too. I don't move the camera back. So there's it's a succulent. And then you roll her dress down and pop her up. There, and she stands perfectly both ways, because there's a piece of cardboard here. I might use plastic eventually when I make more, but I used cardboard. It's just for me, so there you go. And she was actually very easy. I think you start with here, and then you do the body, and then like this piece is separate. You do like I think it's a front loop or a back loop, one of those loops, and then you attach it, and you make one half going down, and then you flip it up, and then you make the other half going the other direction or something. It sounds confusing, but it's really not. This was actually super easy, and I haven't made any for like shows yet, but I'm probably gonna be making some for craft shows. So yeah, my all-time favorite that I've ever really made, I'm pretty sure it would be my all-time favorite, would be Bruno, because Bruno, I found him on Etsy, and this does not look like a mouse, but I swear I followed the pattern exactly, but this is not a mouse. It's supposed to be, but it does not look like a mouse. And then his hair is the same idea, actually. It's the same as Wednesday. This is the first one and only one I've ever made. His hair, it could have gone better, but your first one's always gonna have something. But his little shoes, his poncho, maybe I don't know. I guess it looks like him. This is huge. I probably could have made it a little bit tighter or used a different hook or something, because it goes over them, but it's very loose. Like I won't even do it now, but it's a very big hoodie. But I did this in red heart yarn. I might do it in a thinner yarn eventually, but I like Red Heart. It's a very happy medium yarn because if you're making something tiny, you can get a better idea of how to do it first in a simpler yarn before you use like maybe a thinner yarn. If you hear anything in the background, I have neighbors working on their houses. There's one that's been being built across the street, and there's one that is being built beside me. This one's been working on his house for years, and the one across the street's been only working on theirs for months. So it's noisy. You're gonna hear noises. I forgot to mention that in the beginning, but that's what the sawing noises and stuff is. It's this one next door. So yeah. So here's Bruno. I think by far he's just my favorite because he was so complicated, and I really like Bruno. I think he's kind of everybody's favorite. But I'm just really proud of myself that I actually did. This is the first time I've done hair like that. So when I did Wednesday, it wasn't as hard to follow because I had done his. But I'm just proud of how I somehow accomplished this. So yeah. So that is my shelf. Oh, and my little pug. There's a tutorial on YouTube. Can't think of the name because I made him a long time ago. But this little pug, there's a tutorial and there's a pattern for it somewhere by the same person. So that's what's in the background is a little pug. I put him in a dog coat thing because I thought he was kind of when my stitches still weren't very tight, so he's kind of gapped and weird. So I figure if I hide half of him in a dog coat because he's a dog, that it would hide certain things. So but yeah, so I guess that's that for this video that I can think of. Like I said, I will try to put Scaredy Eddie's felt bear picture at the end, and the picture of the Chihuahua that I made for the manager that will be leaving in another week or so. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't bore you. I know it's been a while that I have been on here. I try to when I can. The last few videos where I have been on, my brother usually works midnights, so if I'm home alone, technically I'm not alone because he would be sleeping. So today I'm actually fully alone, which makes it easier and not as awkward knowing that he's probably, even though he's sleeping, yeah, it's just, I don't know, I find it awkward, I guess, because now I can speak louder in these videos. So maybe I'll do a video sometime about like if you want to know stuff about me, because I haven't been on YouTube in 12 years since the last little music videos that I've made, and I've just kind of popped up randomly. So maybe I'll make a video after this of kind of a little bit of a get to know me. Won't be very long, I don't think. Hopefully, if I'm not babbling. Normally I just like to get to the point and make the video for what I made it for. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and day or night whenever you might be watching this. And thank you for taking the time to watch, because I don't know, I'm not looking to be a big star. I just want to share my passion of crochet just like everybody else. So it's not like a huge goal to have thousands and thousands of followers. It's very hard to keep up with something like that. So once in a while, I'll just share a couple videos here and there. I do appreciate having followers. It's very thoughtful, and I appreciate comments and thumbs up I'll hit my watch. Thumbs up. Don't forget those. Leave, yeah, feel free to chat. I love to chat. I talk too much at work. But that's the best thing about being a housekeeper and working where I am, because when you're in a room and you're one-on-one with people, they love it, especially if a lot of family doesn't visit them, you know. They look forward to having visitors, like us as visitors. So especially if they're feeling lonely. So it's nice. Okay, I'll get off and I'll jump right into another little video of a sort of a get to know me. So, okay, bye guys.